Let me ask you a question. If you are fighting a war, if you are fighting a war,
What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really want to have a conversation because some of you brothers, obviously, you're not in the Pan-African community or the pro-black community, and I am. I'm for men's rights with somewhat of a pro-black twist. I've always been like that my entire life, right? And as I've gotten deeper into conversations with people, because the people in the pro-black community are not a monolith. You have your Nation of Islam brothers, you have your 5% brothers, okay? Nation of Gods and Earth, shout out to those brothers over there. You have your Hebrew Israelites, shout out to those brothers over there. You have your Hoteps, you have your Egyptians, you have your black Muslims, you have your black Christians, you have atheists. All right, you have the Moors, okay, your North American Moorish brothers, shout out to them. But the one thing that, if you have every kind of argument and that it can culminate into something, a lot of brothers cannot disagree without some sort of aggression at the end. And what happens is people will start to use a lot of improvisation of what would happen, or some sort of personification of an idea that if they were a ruler of some place, they would make it happen. Okay? That's what it's going to be. Let's go ahead and personify, this. If I was this government, right? This is how I would treat these sellouts. And this is how it would be if I was the president of this country that don't even exist, right? If I ruled a country like Ghana, which ain't a real country, and then if you disagreed like me, I would give you 50,000 lashes. And what that is very authoritarian, okay? Now, I'm not trying to say that the white man's version of democracy is the key, but to say that because you disagree with what somebody said, they ought to get 50,000 lashes, it's ludicrous, okay? This is why so many blacks are turned off by Pan-Africans who have that one-party state mentality that everything must be under autocratic dictatorship and it's my way or the highway or everybody dies. Even though it doesn't really happen, but you can imagine what would happen if that person ruled the government, okay? Now, this is the case with Stephen A. Smith and Deion Sanders and Dr. Umar Johnson. Dr. Umar Johnson clearly said something about 50,000 lashes, all right? He said it. I actually want to play a clip of him saying it. Then after me playing the clip of him saying it, I'm going to play what Stephen A. Smith said, and then we'll come back.
let me ask you a question. If you are fighting a war, if you are fighting a war,
all I have to say to Dr. Umar Johnson is this. I don't know any human being alive I would wish 50,000 lashes on. Respectfully, how low can you go? Never met you, don't know you. Educated brother, I wish you nothing but the best. But you would wish that upon another human being? A brother? Really? That's how low you would go?
So guys, you heard what he had to say. Let me just say this, my piece on everything, all right? We all feel that certain people are sellouts, or certain people do things in the way that we don't. And when it comes to Jackson State and Deion Sanders, here you have a brother that goes to the school, and the administration is hard to work with. Period. I know that because working with black people is hard to work with sometimes. He got tired of that and wanted to leave. So he wants to leave. Now he left because of the dysfunction. Let's give him 50,000 lashes. Instead of saying, why do our best people, let's just look at this. Instead of always talking about some punishment for somebody that you know you can't give them, because that's dumb. And I know that Umar Johnson is kidding, but if Umar Johnson had a country, he would give somebody that kind of lashes, right? Which is stupid. Even though he the one to deserve all the lashes. But let's look at it like this. Why don't we ever address why black people are so disgruntled with our race? It ain't all about colorism or the white man's ISIS code. There are things that happen, that transpire within the black community that turn off black people from the black community. And every time we see somebody exiting the community, we try to combine it as, well, those people are sellouts and they need to be beaten. It's just like black women, right? When black women and black men interact, especially on mediums like the internet or YouTube, one of the things that we hear is one-sided, right? So what you'll hear is black women want you to hear what they have to say. And when you talk about how, you know, black women are entitled, they're disrespectful towards black men, some of them could even be rude, some of them, you know, have a height requirement, they deal with pookies and the ray-rays, all of these different issues that black men would actually bring to the table. Black women don't want to deal with those issues. They're gonna deal with everything else but the issues. Well, that's why you a sellout. And you can't handle a strong black woman anyway. Instead of dealing with the issues that the brother was actually trying to bring, that many of us would find validity in his statement. And that's why the black community can't grow, because when everybody comes with problems and criticisms, we don't want to discuss it. Same thing with Africa. Africa has such a great opportunity. But because of the many issues in the private sector, in the public sector, if you start talking about the problems that are there, most people are going to tell you, well, that's just how it is. And then they'll also say, if you don't like it, go, leave our country. But then you'll be the first folks begging for investors. You'll be begging for things. Come support me. Come do this. Come do that. All of that, right? But you don't want to address the issues at hand. Meanwhile, other countries nearby in the region are doing a better job. And then when they get all the business, all of a sudden, you know, you're going to make an excuse. Well, they only doing that because they hate on such and such. Or, you know, and it's being ridiculous. Why don't you address what is going on? Address the problem from where it is, instead of sitting back and lying about it. Are trying to threaten somebody as if this is a totalitarian state. It's not a totalitarian state. Furthermore, you ain't got no country, Umar, to put them in. And that's why blacks got to have a conversation. If we don't like what somebody's doing, just don't deal with them. Then you come out with a better solution for your people. But we know that many blacks who talk like Umar, they can't. Because they are Monday morning quarterbacks. You don't want to put in the work. You want to criticize somebody who can put in the work. You don't do any building. You want to criticize somebody who does do the building. And Stephen A. Smith, although he does a lot of things I don't like, he's right on this one. It's a shame. It's a crying shame. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.